Welcome everyone. Thank you very much for being here. And for those of you who doesn't know me yet, I'm Ibrahim and I am international representative for the Glass Art Society. And my position has just started in October to serve in Glas. Um, Before we get the program started, I do have a couple of logistics to cover and some online community practice to review. We will be recording today's program and it will be posted on our YouTube channel. So we hope you to keep your cameras on, but do it only so if you're really comfortable with it. And also the second thing that I would like to share with you is we also ask that you keep yourself on mute and turn off your microphone unless you're speaking. And if you have any question during the meeting or during the presentation, would like to hear them. And also you're welcome to grab the microphone and unmute yourself to speak. Or either way, you can just raise your hand that you see under your videos. There will be a symbol of hand that you can just raise your hand to raise hand function so that I can see you that you have something to say. Or either way, you can just use the chat box to write your question, and I will do my best to forward your questions to Nadania. And another thing that, oh, my video is not that clear, I guess. Closing extra tabs will help also avoid somehow video delays or Google Meeting video quality. So I guess it will be not now the right moment to do so on and close them if you don't need it. Yeah, we do have one more. As our online community goes and the practices goes, and as a person who believes in diversity, we ask that everyone be respectful and speak their own experiences if they really want to say something during the meeting. And for those of you who hasn't been to Glass Art Society meetup before, I would like to give some brief information about it. They are basically monthly meetings, mostly virtual meetings meant to create some space for the students around the world and to discuss glass materials and the process, view some lectures, watching some online demos, attend some virtual studio tours, meet leaders in glass community, like what we do right now, hosting Nadani Idriss from Berlin Glass, and more and more and more. And this program basically moderated by myself, Ibrahim, and Paige Morris, our North American student representative. But unfortunately, she will not able to join us today. Maybe you meet her next time. And before just getting really started with Nadania, I really would like to greet first our two new Glass Art Society liaison student representative. One is Maria Panter. Salute, Maria, is from
Hi.
National University of Arts in Bucharest. And the other one is Ege Özkan. Merhaba Ege. Is from Anadolu University from Eskişehir in Turkey. Welcome to board. Thanks for being the member of Glass Art Society.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
And
an honor for me.
what is it?
It's an honor and a pleasure to be a part of this community. Thank you.
Yeah, great to hear.
great.
Thanks. With that being said, allow me to introduce, just a moment. We do have like a couple of meetings as well who are just really attending to meeting. Yeah. That I can allow now. Introduce our speaker of today for Nadani Idriss of Berlin Glassworks. Nadani was born in Berkeley in California, and after completing her master degree in Islamic Art and Architecture at the University of Victoria in Canada. She moved to London, and she has worked at the British Museum and then UNESCO until she moved to Berlin 2005 to work at the Museum of Islamic Art. And since then, she has gone on two form of community focus of Glassworks, Glass Studios, which is Berlin Glass EV, which is eingetretene Verein, which means registered association. Yeah, this was the question always in people's mind. Right, really, what is the meaning of this extra addition to EV at the end of the word?
Why is she always writing it at the end of Glass? Exactly.
Yeah. And Berlin Glassworks. Nadania is also the co-founder of lighting brand Analog and the vice president of Glass Art Society. And apropos, this is the first place where I was able to make my internship in Berlin Glass 7 years ago. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Time flies by, really. And yeah, further ado, I will turn it to Nadania. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And
So shall I share my screen? Or
yeah, would be great.
okay, present now. Okay.
Did you? Yeah.
Oh, I need to. Oh, sorry. It's not letting me share.
Oh, why? Like,
Hold on, let me try again. Share my screen. Okay, share. System preferences, issues presenting. Okay, let's try.
it might be also a reason that I'm the moderator, so I will.
Yeah, you need to make me a co-moderator, I think. Or you need to make me the moderator.
I will just try it.
Because usually, okay, wait, here, I can also, yeah, I don't usually have a problem sharing. Let's see. Am I the moderator? No.
No, I'm just trying to find out where to make you moderator right now.
Okay.
Can you try it now again, please?
Now it's going. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. There we go. Hi, everyone. Okay. So, as Ibrahim so kindly introduced me, wait. Sorry, I have also a very old computer here, which, as you can see, does its own thing. So as Ibrahim kindly introduced me, you might be asking yourself, how did she go from the British Museum and Islamic Art to opening a glass studio? It might seem a little bit random, and this is always the first question that people ask. But actually, when I did my bachelor degree in Seattle, Washington, I was a volunteer at Pilchuck for a long time, for about from 1992 until 1996 when I moved to Europe. So And I was doing the campus tours and helping just whenever I could, the auction. And yeah, and I met a lot of people in Glas at that moment. And so Glas was always in the back of my mind. And I had friends who were glass artists. And I understood, or what really fascinated me about the process of glass blowing, especially, was the teamwork. So, in between, also, while working at the museums, I was always working in education and always working with the public. So that kind of social work was always very important for me. And when I moved to Berlin, I was volunteering in a youth club. And I used to always think, they should be blowing glass. These kids need to be blowing glass, because there's something just magical about when you get a group of people together and you teach them this craft and you watch them making something. I mean, as you all know, yeah, there's, um, confidence building and communication and so many things, empowerment. So that was the motivation behind opening Berlin Glass. And I'm still a big fan and a big nerd of Islamic art. That hasn't gone away. But yes, so for now, for 10 years, and we just turned 10 on Thursday, I've been running these two programs. So I made a PowerPoint, or I have a PDF presentation, and it's focused on Berlin Glass EV, the association, but I will explain also after a few minutes why there are two parts to the studio and what the difference between the EV and the Glassworks is. So here we
That will be
go.
great.
Yeah.
Just to get the meaning of EV. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So EV, as Ibrahim explained, is an association. So it's like any kind of association which is governed by a board. And in this case, we put together a board, and then we applied immediately for nonprofit status, which we received 9 months after the initial application. And that was really important because I needed we needed to have funding, and we needed to be able to fundraise. And Germany is like amazing with public funding. So yeah, so we needed that status, and we received it. So once upon a time in 2011, we opened the very, very first glassblowing studio in a place called Mitte in Berlin. And the picture on here's my pointer. The picture on the left here is just a vista of Berlin, and the picture on the right here is the location of our first studio. But as with many things in a city which was rapidly being gentrified, the land got sold to a developer and we had to move. So we moved to our current location, which is in an area called Reinickendorf. And it's a light industrial neighborhood, which means we're surrounded by other factories. And it's really exciting because we're actually located in the back of an old schnapps factory. And this used to be the power station, and the tower actually belongs to the studio. So it's quite exciting. And you'll see here, this black area here, those are actually solar panels that we installed in 2016 with an effort, obviously, to reduce our electrical bill, but also to try to become more green. So, and it works very well to have solar panels. So this is the 10 years ago when the first furnace was arriving in the former studio. I love this picture because it barely fit through the door. And that was the first gather at 5:30 p.m. And the two guys who came over from Canada, Philip Bandura and Timothy Beliveau, maybe some of you know them. They belong to a collective called the Bee Kingdom from Calgary, Canada. And they flew over for 4 months to help me open the studio. Which, by the way, I'd never blown glass before when I opened the studio. So that should be a motivating motivation for anything where anything is possible if you put your mind to it. So what was really important, because this was new to Berlin, and it was actually more challenging than I thought to be able to fundraise, because you apply for an art grant and everyone's looking at you like, huh, glass blowing in Berlin? That doesn't exist. And it's like, well, actually it does. And so we had to I thought, okay, I could either just reach out and try to get as many international partners as possible, or I could focus on Berlin itself and really like get into the art scene and draw artists to us and then build our reputation in that way, which is exactly what we did. So Berlin, we're lucky to be able to have artists such as Mona Hatoum, as you see here in this on the left, or Karen Zander, and Omar Arbel, who's the founder of Bocce, the lighting company, and Monica Bovencini. And here again on the left underneath Mona is Simona Slay, who actually came from Australia, but she had done her studies in Berlin. So our AIR program has helped us a lot to gain recognition on the local art scene. And I would say since if we opened in 2011, our first actual grant came in 2014, so it took 3 years. And since then, we've just been building and building and building on this. So as you remember, I was working in a youth club, and really the motivation for opening the studio was creating a youth program.
Yeah.
And I was very, very much influenced by Hilltop, which is in the Pacific Northwest in Tacoma, and Glassroots, which is in Newark, New Jersey. And there's another program called Peace Out, which teaches philanthropy. So those were the three biggest influences for our youth program. So we started with Kids Blow Glass, and we launched it in 2012. That's Jeff Ballard and Anna Peters came over and helped to launch this program. And when we were starting Kids Blow Glass, we literally got on our bikes and rode we identified a bunch of youth clubs and got on our bikes and rode and knocked on the door and just handed them brochures. Because before we had our first program, and before we could actually show pictures, we had to kind of describe, bring your kids, we'll teach them to blow glass. And people were really looking at us, huh? Glass blowing in Berlin? Are you sure? It's yes, believe me, there's a big furnace. It's on. So yeah, that was quite an adventure. And then we finally had a workshop. And then from there, pictures say 1,000 words. It's so important to document with pictures, process your work, your finished work. And yeah, so since then, Kids Blow Glass has grown beautifully. And in 2014, we launched Keats Practicum, which a practicum is an internship. So in Germany, when you're in high school, you have to do an internship in a public place, and we do 2 high school internships per year. And then we, in 2015, Bullseye Glass gave us an amazing donation, and we were able to start a fusing program. 2015 is also the year of when the refugees came, and we created the fusing lab to work with refugee homes. But getting the kids to us was not as easy as as we discovered it wasn't as easy to get such young kids from all over Berlin to travel to us. So in 2017, and I know it's kind of a big gap, but it really was like we really tried hard to get kids into our studio to do these fusing classes. And it worked like from local homes, but really the ones that were in the suburbs or on the other side of town, it was challenging for them to, you know, ride the subway or to imagine to going to a different part of town. So we created the Keats Mobile. So the Keats Mobile is a cart, and you'll see a picture of it. And we have everything we need in this cart, and we can go around anywhere we want and hold fusing classes. So Kids Blow Glass. These are just some pictures. This was a really fun project to say thank you to Hilltop. I reached out to them and told them that they'd been a big influence. So what we did was we asked the kids in Tacoma to design something, and then our kids in one of our groups designed something, and then we sent the JPEGs by email, and then so they made a bear for us, and we made a puzzle piece, 2 puzzle pieces with the German flag and the American flag, and then we mailed them to each other. So that was really fun. Oops. And that's one of our interns. And that is the, that just goes to show you how many refugee homes there were in 2015. There's still that many. And the fusing, and then there's the Keats Mobile.
Is there any sorry, is there
Yeah,
any
go ahead.
relation between like Kids Blow Glass and this Moltaka workshop that I used to see on some social media accounts? Like
No, Moltaka is coming. So another thing we've done is we've built mud brick furnaces in youth clubs and taught kids to blow glass the traditional way. It's another fun one. And then Moltaka. Moltaka is a project which is a partnership with us and the Museum of Islamic Art. And Moltaka is for adults, so not for kids. It's the free adult program. And and what it is at the Museum of Islamic Art, they've trained, they've hired refugees, people with migration background, to give tours of the collection. But the tours are very special because they're not just, it's not just about, you know, like going through the collection and getting a standard tour, but it's actually about the objects which resonate personally with the tour guide. So it's meant to create a dialogue between the participants on the tour and the tour guide, and it's a way to introduce people to one another. Because you know, oftentimes you move to a city and you have a hard time to meet people, and then you hear something like, "Oh, refugee," and then you know, you have this idea about what are, you know, who are the refugees. But then when you meet them in this way, like we pair people with like artists who have migration background to teach with someone like Sylvia Levinson, and then you know, like everyone gets to know each other. It's been very, very successful. Sorry, I'm going backwards. So Moltaka always starts at the museum with a tour, and then we have a hands-on workshop at the studio. And then another thing that we do here is we teach at the university. And there are 2 universities, the UDK, University of Art, and the Kunsthochschule Weissensee. And we actually have a joint class with them. And then we have, we haven't done it in a couple of years, not since Corona. We have Australians that come over on the Endeavour Award from the Australian National University. And then we have a lot of Erasmus interns from Ireland, and we also have a collaboration with Northlands NCAD and a place in Latvia, Glas which is a residency program and workshop program. So it's quite quite full. So all of those things that I presented to you are projects or programs that are under the EV. And there's also this other side, which is called the Glassworks. And in Germany, an association or an NGO can make up to a certain amount of money. And after that, you either have to become a limited liability company with charitable activity, or you have to become a company by itself. So in 2015, I had to split the EV into a limited liability company, Berlin Glassworks GmbH, and Berlin Glass EV remained as a charity. So that's the difference. Under the GmbH, or the Glassworks, we teach classes to the public. We have weekend classes. We have in-depth glass blowing, and we make work for artists. Anyone who has, we also work a lot with architects and interior designers. And since 2019, we launched our own lighting label. So I'm actually,
which is analog. Yeah.
Which is analog. So I'm actually, and I hope this works, I'm going to, because I'm at the studio, I have to, I don't know. Okay, this isn't gonna, yeah, this should work. So this is, can you see it? No.
Nadania, I guess you should just remove this picture what I sent you with this Glass Art Society. So.
Yeah, sorry. Oh wait. Okay. So no background. No. Sorry. Ah, there it is.
Yeah,
okay, that's better. So this is the Keats Mobile. Yay! And you can see inside, you have everything you need for traveling around. And there's some music happening, so you probably won't hear me, but can you all see okay?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
And up here, those are some of the lights. And okay, great. So does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, like we will have now a really short discussion panels. If you have any questions or any comments, you're welcome to speak to microphone to ask Nadania, or you can just use the raise hand function so that I can see that you have something to say, or either way, you can just use the chat box to write your questions. Any questions? Okay, why did you decide to establish a glass studio in Berlin, Nadania? Is there any specific reason behind of it?
So I wanted to create a space where I wanted to create a space where we could do public projects like the Kids Blow Glass. I wanted to make my own art center.
That sounds
and
good.
and I really like glass blowing and glass making because it takes a team,
Yeah.
and that's really the reason behind it. I'd always worked with kids in the public, or like as a volunteer in museum education, and I just had all these ideas, and I thought, okay, um, try it, make your own space.
Yeah.
So you know, I laugh about it, and it sounds like maybe it sounds like I'm making it sound easy, but it's not easy. But it's been so fulfilling and fun. So it's really something which I believe was like I understood my purpose, and therefore it's been something which has been very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that I have been to Berlin Glass like 7 years ago. You just made an amazing place out of nothing. Really,
So
this is exact the definition to describe Berlin Glass, I guess. And we
thank
do
you.
have like a couple of questions on the chat box. Like, I am an NU Glass student interested in coming. Are there any opportunities opening up as restrictions ease?
Yes. So those of you at the ANU, please tell Nadej to get in contact with me, because I would love to reactivate the Endeavor Award, the Endeavor opportunity. It's such a great award. It's basically it's like the Fulbright, the American Fulbright.
Yeah.
And they have so much support for artists. Actually, Ibrahim, when you were there, if you remember, there were 3 Endeavor scholars with us: Marcel and Alex and Charles.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So, and I see a question, what opportunities for students are there? So that last slide I showed with Insigni, that's there for mobility. Unfortunately, 2020 happened and we couldn't have people travel to us anymore or travel to Northlands. But the idea was to offer a month-long residency. But then, you know, the best is really Erasmus. As soon
Yeah.
as you graduate, you can come as a Erasmus, and Ibrahim can speak a little bit about that, maybe how that works.
Well, Erasmus's program is just include like European countries and also couple of candidate countries that would be accepted to European countries as well.
Yeah.
So that before just graduating from your university or college or institute, whatever it's called, you can apply as a trainee or as an internship in Berlin Glass. So you do have a grant from Erasmus community from Europe so that you can just achieve to be a trainee at Berlin Glass. This is also what I did like 7 years ago. I can't remember really, that just time flies by, but it's been a really most beautiful times of my life as well in
Oh, thank
Berlin,
you.
really.
Yeah,
Well,
that was fun. It
that
was
was
fun
really
having you.
fun.
It was a fun summer. Um, yeah. Any other questions?
Any
Are
comments?
I have a question for all of you. Well, are most of you glass blowers or fusers, or can you write in the chat what your main interest is? Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for attending. Okay, I need everyone to write in the chat. What are you into? Glass blowing, fusing? What kind of flame? Yeah, flame. We don't do flame here because flame needs its own room, and also there are so many neon benders in town. Yeah, glass blowing. Hi, Marcus. I didn't even recognize you with your hat, but I was wondering because I saw the name. Glass fusing. Oh yeah, engraving. Yeah. So yeah, nice. And casting, any casters or cold workers? Who's learning cold working?
Someone just wrote like glass blowing is my passion, but I combine it with this kiln forming.
Oh yeah,
So,
kiln forming. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Leah just wrote like, I'm making an Erasmus in
In
France now.
France.
And
Where are
yeah.
you in France?
Hello.
Hi.
Um, in France, I'm in Soisy-sur-École. Do you know this? It's not far from Paris. It's a small atelier, and there I just found it in internet and wanted to come to learn glass blowing.
Nice.
And actually, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm here now. It's a second month. And I came here because I already started to learn glass blowing before, but just a little. I never learned it really deeply, and that's why I came here, because here there is a space and they can teach me. And I was really very motivated in the beginning to learn, but I have a little problem. The chef of this company, the boss, he gives me a new tasks, and every time he explains me very fast. And after when I just try to do, and with any mistakes, he start to shout at me. And it's not just with me; it's with everybody like this. Or when I'm assisting him, and when he makes some complicated big pieces, and if something goes wrong, he starts to shout to everyone. Without explaining before, he just make everything very stressful. And with time, now I started to think maybe I should stop to learn, because it's too much stressful. And I really feel like I lose my motivation about it. And so, can you give me some advice or just your opinion?
Well, I think whenever we're in a bad mood, um, it's we react to the world around us, but we know in our heart that the people around us are not to blame. So the first thing to remember is it's not about you. He's just having a hard time. um, but that doesn't change, that you might get nervous. um, so i think um, I think first and foremost, don't lose your motivation. Just remember that, yeah, everybody has their way of reacting, and it's not about us personally, and that maybe just by being quiet and um, uh, doing what you need to do, like finishing your tasks and whatnot, um, that's actually very helpful to the person who might be in a bad mood, because then because if the people around are reacting, which is what usually happens because we're caught off guard or something, um, then things escalate and become more stressful. But when we all think about, like, okay, this person might be having a bad day, or might be, there's so many things that go into why people react the way they do. Just having that little bit of understanding or compassion might, make that person be more relaxed, which will, in the end, be good for you.
Thank you.
um,
Thank you.
it's like, yeah. But yeah, don't lose your motivation. I mean, if you love glass blowing, then amazing that you're learning it. And there's also, once you finish this internship, go to another one and get funding, and travel around and meet different people in different studios. This is so it's just so nice because it's never it's never one way in one place. There's always differences, and
Yes.
that's the exciting part.
Just also this the boss of this company, he also tells me that to learn glass blowing you need a minimum 10 years, and he tells me every time, if you are not going to learn it, to do it at 10 years, then don't start. He tells me you will just lose your time if you just make it 1 or 2 years, and then you are going to have a kids, and then you will just stop with this. Just
Well,
yeah.
well, I think like I would take 10 years for sure, but I've heard the average is like 2 years. I mean, it really depends on your motivation. But somebody else raised their hand. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Philip.
thank
Go
you.
ahead. Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of chime in on the same conversation here. Just from what I think that there are some glass blowers that it does happen that there are some mean glass blowers. People get really into this idea of I am the maker and you need to make everything perfect for me.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to know that like there are glass blowers that are super kind, that are like
Yeah.
wanting to work with people, and like that if you bring a mistake, I mean, if they're a good enough glass blower, they can work with it and it's okay. And like that's, and to know that like in the community, there are people that are there just to blow glass because it's fun, and whether it's 1 year or whether it's 10 years, it's just we're here because we love the material and we like making, and I think that that's really important to remember, that don't let this one person give you this idea of the community or of how it is to blow glass, right? Because with lots of different people, it can be a very, very different experience.
Yeah, never take
you.
one experience as and the same could be said. You go somewhere and you have an amazing experience, and then you go somewhere else and you don't, and then so yeah, it's always personal.
Thank you. Thank you.
So don't give up. And yeah, anybody else? Thank you, Philip, for explaining it such a better way than me.
Yeah, he's a glass blower as well. Yeah.
I'm coordination, but it's true. Maybe if I was assisting or if I was blowing glass. No, I'm just kidding. I do actually know how to blow glass.
But you were already trying when I was there also.
Yeah,
Like from time to time,
I've taken all of our classes. No, not really. I don't have my own art practice. I don't have my own art practice, but I mean, maybe you could say Berlin Glass is a performance art. I'm kidding.
I would see it in that way. Really? Like, oh wow.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I do actually. Yeah. I do make things, but I don't. I have so much respect for those of you that put yourselves into exhibitions and shows. That takes a lot of courage, and that is something that you can all really just be so proud of yourself. Because if I were to think of making things and putting them into a gallery or into a show and having everyone there to look at those objects that I made, and I've put my heart and soul into this, and my concepts and my feelings, that takes a lot of courage. And like really, I have so much respect for that. I'm always so in awe. And for the maker, those who make, it's really like there's so many things that are so beautiful about yeah, the making and then the presentation. So
that was a great answer too. Yeah. Is there more questions or comments to Nadania, or any aspirations that would you like to hear from her? No?
No?
Okay, then I guess the time is just getting closer for us to end up the meeting for today, for this month, I guess. Thank you, Nadania, for joining us in conversation today. It was really great
Thank
to
you.
host you, really. And I hope to see you this week in Berlin.
Yes, Friday, definitely.
I will just text you.
Okay,
And
perfect.
also, we want to take this opportunity to thank to everyone for attending this wonderful meeting. And it would like you, if you would like to watch or listen this meeting again, the recording will be available within next week in our YouTube channel and also website. And special thanks to all our donors and Glass Art Society programs, services, and benefits would not be possible without contributions people like you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. And for those of you who have not joined GAS, there is actually, for students, you can pay what you can to become a
Exactly.
member. And it's so worth it, like just, the GAS news and the updates and the, yeah, like there are special discounts on publications and things. So, and it's really great that they created this opportunity where, whatever you can afford, that's what you can pay and become a member. So access for all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they do have,
Nice.
of course, like a lot of opportunities for students, like scholarships, attending the conferences and student
Yeah.
exhibitions. Like you can just get a lot of profit by attending like Glass Art Society as a member.
Yeah. And I think these student meetups are brilliant. I mean, it's really, what a great way to like meet each other and yeah, like exchange ideas, or yeah. And yeah, even for the person that you've invited, I've learned, I learned from you guys. So
Oh, that sounds good.
yeah, nice.
And
All right.
while we continue to work on our programming, I want to ask you to email me or Paige with this address that I will share also with you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, with any suggestions or any content that you would like to hear from us or from Glass Art Society. You can just email or drop a message that we can just return back to you. And also, sorry, for our January meetup, we are hosting Ben Wright.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, and we will learn more about Pilchuck Glass School and their AIR programs and also other glass art residencies. So you can just follow us on Instagram or attending to our Facebook group for
Yeah.
more information.
Amazing. All right. Thank you all. And I hope to meet you all one day when we can finally travel around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Thank you.
yeah.
Have a good morning. Have a day.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Vielen
And
Dank. Thank you.